Hey guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Deuteronomy chapter 26, starting in verse 17, it says, "You have today declared Yahweh to be your God, and that you would walk in his ways and keep his statutes, his commandments, and his judgments, and listen to his voice. And Yahweh has today declared you to be his people, a treasured possession as he promised you, and that you should keep all his commandments." And so here you see two reasons why they were to keep his commandments. One, because they had claimed Yahweh to be their God. He says in verse 17, "You have today declared Yahweh to be your God." But also because God had claimed them. It says in verse 18, "And Yahweh has today declared you to be his people." And in both of those statements is tied this idea of keeping Yahweh's commandments. And that was true for the Israelites, but it's also true for us as well. We need to live a life of holiness and sanctification and dedication to God for these same reasons. One, because we have claimed God to be our God. We have declared God to be our God. And if we have done that, then it follows that we should listen to what he tells us and obey his commandments. It would be kind of like if a person were to go to work and all day call the boss his boss, but all the while not listening to the boss, not doing anything that the boss tells him to do, breaking the rules, breaking or not following instructions. That would be an inconsistency. You can't call the boss your boss and then not follow him and treat him as though he is your boss. And then, on the other side, God had claimed them to be his people. And therefore, because he had taken them under the shadow of his wing and had taken them, under his care to shepherd them and to guide them, then they ought to listen to what he commands them. He has shown special favor to the Israelites, and he had brought them as his own special people. And as a response to that, they should have followed him and listened to what he would teach them. The same thing is true with us. God has called us through the gospel. He has called us to be his people, to be his own sanctified people, his holy priesthood, his tabernacle, his children. And we've been called into the house of God to be under the care of God, under the protection of God, enjoying the salvation of God. And we have this wonderful relationship with God that he has invited us to. And so as a response, our heart response ought to be then that we want to obey him and align our lives with him and align our hearts with him. And so for these two reasons, we ought to be very much intent on following the Lord in whatever he teaches us, in things that are easy, but also in things that are difficult, and times when we feel like it, and times when we don't feel like it. We need to remember, we have declared Yahweh to be our God, and therefore we ought to follow him as our God. And he has also claimed us as his people. And therefore we should, out of a heart of gratitude and appreciation for that, also offer up our lives to him. And hopefully our reading today will motivate us to do that very thing and help us to all the more strive for a sanctified life, a holy life before God, so that we can please him and bring honor to his name. So there's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. But guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.